Friedrich Nietzsche's concept of the will to power is often celebrated as a philosophy of personal strength, ambition, and self-overcoming. But beneath the surface lies a far more dangerous and unsettling reality, one that is rarely discussed in mainstream interpretations. Nietzsche's ideas have inspired revolutionaries, artists, and thinkers, but they have also been twisted to justify cruelty, oppression, and even tyranny. This exploration uncovers the hidden shadows of Nietzsche's philosophy, revealing how the will to power can lead to destruction rather than enlightenment. If you seek true mastery of Nietzsche's ideas, you must confront these dark truths, because understanding them is the only way to avoid their pitfalls. 1. The will to power can justify cruelty and domination. Nietzsche's philosophy teaches that life is not merely about survival, but about the expansion of power, the relentless drive to overcome obstacles, dominate circumstances, and impose one's will upon the world. He famously declared that life itself is essentially appropriation, injury, overpowering of what is alien and weaker. While this idea can be invigorating for those seeking greatness, it carries a sinister implication. If power is the ultimate goal, then morality becomes secondary. History has shown how easily this thinking can be corrupted. The Nazis, for instance, distorted Nietzsche's words to justify their ideology of racial superiority and conquest, despite Nietzsche himself despising anti-Semitism and German nationalism. The will to power does not inherently advocate cruelty, but its emphasis on strength over ethics creates a slippery slope. Without restraint, the pursuit of power can devolve into brutality, where the weak are crushed not for any higher purpose, but simply because they can be. This is the first dark truth of Nietzsche's philosophy. Power, when unchecked by wisdom, does not elevate man. It barbarizes him. 2. It rejects compassion as weakness, leading to a ruthless worldview. Nietzsche reserved some of his harshest criticisms for compassion, which he saw as a weakness that stifles human potential. He viewed pity as a tool of the weak to manipulate the strong, writing that it stands in opposition to all the tonic passions that augment the energy of the feeling of life. In his eyes, mercy and empathy were shackles preventing the emergence of the Übermensch, the superior individual who transcends conventional morality. But this rejection of compassion has dire consequences. A world that operates purely on strength, where suffering is dismissed as the natural fate of the inferior, is a world without solidarity or humanity. Modern psychology and leadership studies contradict Nietzsche's stance. Empathy is not a weakness, but a strategic strength. The most effective leaders, from Abraham Lincoln to Nelson Mandela, wielded power with compassion, not in spite of it. Nietzsche's flaw was his failure to recognize that true greatness does not come from crushing others, but from mastering the balance between strength and mercy. To follow Nietzsche blindly is to risk becoming not a superhuman, but a tyrant. 3. The Übermensch ideal is elitist and unattainable for most. The Übermensch is Nietzsche's vision of the ultimate individual, one who creates their own values, defies societal norms, and lives beyond good and evil. But this ideal is not meant for everyone. Nietzsche believed the majority of humanity was part of the herd, incapable of true greatness. This elitist mindset creates a philosophical hierarchy where most people are seen as inferior, mere stepping stones for the exceptional few. The danger here is obvious. If only a select few are deemed worthy of greatness, what happens to everyone else? History's darkest regimes have exploited similar thinking to justify oppression, eugenics, and even genocide. Furthermore, the Übermensch ideal sets an impossibly high standard, leading many who chase it into frustration and despair. The truth is, Nietzsche's vision was never meant to be a universal blueprint. It was a challenge, not a promise. The real lesson is not to become the Übermensch, but to strive for personal excellence without dehumanizing those who fall short. Nietzsche's will to power is a double-edged sword. It can inspire greatness or justify monstrosity. The choice lies in how we wield it. To embrace Nietzsche blindly is to risk falling into the same abyss he warned about. But to study him with discernment is to unlock a philosophy of immense strength, one that demands not just power, but wisdom, not just ambition, but responsibility. The dark side of Nietzsche's ideas is not a reason to reject them, but a warning to approach them with caution. True power is not in domination, but in balance. And that is the lesson they don't tell you.